Perfect. So it shows that we're live on YouTube and Facebook. I will wait a minute and double check everywhere here. Okay, awesome. Well, I think I've shared it where I needed to, so we can go ahead and get kicked off and started. Good morning and happy Wednesday to all of you. I'm a little bit thrown off myself because Tuesdays are generally when we have our business success series. But if you tried to watch with us yesterday, I was having some technical issues, so I had to finagle the rest of our week around. So I appreciate you guys being on your toes and just continuing to tune in with us. If this is your first time on our page, please be sure that you hit the like button. Also hit the follow so you can get those timely alerts when we go live in the future or post additional content for you. We are also streaming at this very moment on YouTube. That's our YouTube channel, Westminster Chamber of Commerce. So if you have any questions or have somebody who's interested in tuning in but isn't a fan of Facebook, they can also watch it there. We can take up those comments and questions just as easily as we do on Facebook. Now, for all of you that are returning back to me, I so appreciate you coming back and just your dedication to this programming and obviously to our business community. This speaks volumes. So thank you for taking some time out of your day. Now, I am Juliet Abdel, President and CEO of the Westminster Chamber of Commerce, and I'm just so incredibly blessed to be doing these live broadcasts since March. You can find a lot of them in the video section of our Facebook page. You can also find several of them on our resource hub that's available to you on our COVID-19 updates page on the Westminster Chamber of Commerce website. And I've included that link for you into the comment section of this broadcast to find later on. Now, during this broadcast, as our speaker is sharing with us what some of the things they've been doing in their business, things you can learn from or pick back up, and ways that they've adapted to COVID, I want you to try and engage with us as best as possible. This is a very informal type of program, and the way that we feed off the energy really helps for us to continue the conversation, if that makes sense. So if you have any comments that you want to share our way, whether it's about the content that our guest speaker shares, or if it's questions related to what they touch on, please type those into the comment section of this broadcast. We'll pull it up on the screen and recognize you for that. Again, if you are also tuned in, and some of you also always ask me, you're like, oh, I commented and you didn't see it. Depending on where you comment, I may or may not see your comment. Make sure that you comment on the Facebook page. If you give us a thumbs up or a comment, then I actually know that you're tuned in and I see who you are and can give you the recognition you deserve. Long-winded, but I tried to shorten it. Today's speaker is from 5280 Burger Bar here at the Bradburn in Westminster. We have one of their co-owners, and that's with us today, is Clay. Clay's going to share a little bit about how COVID unfolded, how it affected the 5280 Burger Bar, what they did to overcome that, some newer things that they may have held on to, and then into the future, what does that look like for their industry? I'm especially excited because once Clay gets to talking, you'll know his passion for what he does really makes you just want to get up and drive on over there and support them immediately. So Clay, the floor is yours. I'll mute myself and we'll go from there.
Well, thank you, Juliet. Again, this is Clay McPhail from 5280 Burger Bar, and I promise you I'm no speaker, but I will speak. COVID hit us like it did everyone else, especially in the restaurant industry when they closed us and didn't allow anybody sitting in. And we did our family meals. Our family meals were, we have a classically trained chef, and our family meals changed every night, and it was very, very successful. And as other restaurants open and as the indoor dining, we have slowed down. Actually, we've stopped the family meals, but I believe we're going to pick them up again at least once a week. But what we're doing right now, we have behind our restaurant and where the parking lot, the Alcoholic Beverage Commission and the City of Westminster granted us to put some tables back there. We call that our backyard. And on Wednesdays, we have different items from our chef. in our food truck. We've done live Maine lobster rolls. Our chef is from Maine, and so he's got great contacts for lobster. That's been very successful. Today we're doing 6 different kinds of tacos from around the world. It's our Taco Wednesday, and we call it our backyard again, and we serve full drinks and everything outside. It's a lot of fun. We have live music. I don't believe we have live music today, but we have live music occasionally on Wednesdays. That's been a lot of fun. The biggest changes is to-go food, and we do, of course, Grubhub and DoorDash, and you can actually call the restaurant or order online and do touchless, where we come out to the car. We'll find out what kind of car you have. We'll come out to the car. We'll place the food in it, and you can just drive off. And it's been a change of the restaurant industry everywhere, and it's particularly with us. We have had a lot of fun with Westminster, and they've really supported us during this, and it's been very heartfelt. They've been just the whole Westminster, and of course across the street is Broomfield, but the whole area has been very supportive of us, and we've been really lucky, and we've tried to keep the quality up, or we have kept the quality up, and I think that shows in the amount of people that are still coming, even though there's a pandemic amongst us. My name is Clay McPhail. You can call the restaurant at 720-887-5970. I'm there a lot. My partner, Don Redlinger, is there an awful lot, and in fact has moved into the neighborhood. And so he's really excited about that. And let me think, what else should I cover, Miss Juliet?
Well, I thought that was a great start. So thank you so much for sharing that fact. Welcome to Westminster, Don. Thank you for moving and relocating for our community. I have typed into the comment section your phone number. So if anybody that is watching is interested in questions or just wanting to get in touch with you all over at 5280, they can do so. So you touched a little bit about expanding your patio space and kind of the contactless order pickup that people have an option of. And you guys were actually the first for us to kick off our socially distanced after hours event, which I thought went wonderfully. We had well over 20 people that were there supporting you in their vehicles, old-fashioned style, and you guys just turned on a dime and showed that innovative style by having those servers available to go out to the cars and addressing those immediate needs. So thank you for that. But Clay, what are some of the things, and as you shared, you're retaining your quality. Your quality hasn't gone down during this time, and you also have enhanced your menus too. So you've created more of this theme, this customization that's going on with it. With that, it raises the question, are you guys just as well off as you're doing right now as you were earlier on, or is there still a difference, obviously, in your revenue stream that's there?
Our revenue stream is actually as good as it was last year. And we're one of the few restaurants in the country that can say that. Our downtown restaurant can't say that at all. Our downtown restaurant, because we're surrounded by empty offices, empty hotels, and empty convention center. Well, it's not empty. It's a empty hospital, actually, is what it is. But so it has been totally affected. But Westminster, we are doing the same, about the same as we did last year. And when we've changed a lot of things, one of the things I forgot to tell you about, we now have a new filtration system in our AC. We clean our bathrooms every 30 minutes, completely disinfecting. We close them and clean them every 30 seconds. We're using different disinfectants for the tables, the chairs, the doors, the windows. Everything's done different. I mean, we're in a different world, and we had to evolve quickly to it so people feel safe. Every employee that walks in the door gets temped. We make sure that nobody has a fever. If they do, they're sent home. We've been lucky. We've not had any problems whatsoever. But we're doing everything we can to be safe and also to appear safe and give people the feeling of safety when they're in there eating, because they're ingesting food, and we want to make sure that they feel very comfortable about that. And
absolutely.
We can in the front of the house and the back of the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all around. And I think that's what you're running into. Yesterday I was watching a video, and it was over someone who had mentioned someone was touching their mask and they were touching their cups, and they felt so uneasy because they were trying to support and trying to go out, but then they felt like it was still those numerous touch points. And from a health standpoint, when there's that fear driven approach, they're less likely to go out and support because they feel like you're not taking those precautions that are there. So it's nice that you're doing that every 30 seconds. You're closing down those restrooms and getting them cleaned up, the tabletops, and obviously the windows and anything that has made contact. I see Peter Brissett on here with us. He's sharing he loves 5280 Burger Bar. It's his go-to place. I've been trying to get them for, 3 years now, Clay, to give me that gold plate right beside my favorite booth. I think one of these days I'm going to show up and see that there.
We don't have a machine, but if you get one, it's yours. That'll be your private seat.
Terrific. So I love that you had that optimism, but I also love that you have more than one location to give that comparison. That your Denver location is not doing so well, Westminster is doing better. I'd like to say that it's because we're so much more localized and we think local first wherever we can. But there are other definite factors that play into that for sure. On that note, if I look at projecting over the next several months, and how have you been able to stagger your workforce and everything with your location down in Denver not doing well? Has there been cuts that are being made? Are you utilizing some of your employees up here to fill needs that are down there? What does that look like from a workforce standpoint as an owner and making those adjustments as necessary?
Actually, we haven't had anybody morph up north, and we offered everybody downtown their job back. It was, we tried to get everybody back in the workforce. We had such a great crew, and we do have a great crew downtown right now. But Westminster is unique. We have a lot of Westminster kids. We have a lot of Bradburn kids that work there. And I think I've been doing this for 40 years, and I think it's the best crew I've ever had. I mean, they work together great. The kitchen is clicking right now. Our food is coming out hot and fresh, and everybody cares about the customer, and everybody is doing what they can to make sure that it's a special time every time somebody comes in there. I hope. And if they don't, please call me. I would, I need to know if there's any problems. We need to know. We're working hard to be great for everybody and great for ourselves and great for the community.
Absolutely. And we have another comment here. And, before I read this comment, for those of you that are tuning in, 5280 Burger Bar was awarded our Taste of Westminster. And I want to say it was a couple years ago. You guys need to try and reclaim that again. You bring the heat every year to reclaim that award. But I think that speaks volumes because we've got, several dozens of vendors that are there. People are tasting those different foods, and on a dime, they're voting for what they felt resonated with them, right? Because food evokes emotion and evokes a sense of a positivity that's there. So anyways, Brian had comments and he shares, he loves the 5280 Burger Bar. The Durango burger apparently is the highlight of 2020.
That's a pretty low highlight of 2020, but I love the comment. That's fantastic. It's one of my favorites. The Perfect and the Durango are they're my two go-to burgers. In fact, one of my I think either that one or that one is just Perfect and Durango. I'm not sure which.
So I have to digress because you once shared with me about your Wagyu beef and how you get that and the uniqueness. And I loved that story behind it. So can you humor me by repeating it to the audience so they know a little bit about that product that's on your menu?
Well, the Wagyu or Kobe or Akasashu, or there's different names, is a Japanese breed that was only exported from 1962 to 1968. So the Wagyu, we'll call them, is kind of a cover, is all that'll ever be exported from Japan. It's a national treasure, and it's illegal to export the cows themselves. We actually use 7X Ranch out by Aspen. It is an all Wagyu ranch. There's two Wagyus. There's an American Wagyu where they breed them with Black Angus, but this is actually a true Wagyu ranch. And that's where we get our Wagyu, and the quality is just unbelievable. And I buy steaks and roast from them. It's an incredible product. And it's been a lot of fun developing their relationship. They've invited me out a few times. I've just never had the time to go out there and check it out, but I'd love to.
Oh yeah, count me in on that for sure. I also see Ella Ahmed with us and Refugio. Thank you for having on here. Clay, what you hadn't shared was your background, and you have a wealth underneath your belt, from an industry perspective. You've been doing this for quite some time, obviously in different concepts and things like that. What are some of the highlights, or what are some things that you're seeing during this time of COVID, how that's affecting restaurants in general and the climate here in Colorado?
Well, we're looking at 30 of the restaurants not reopening. The PPP money was a fantastic program. Unfortunately, they set standards that some restaurants can't meet, so they can't use that money, or they're liable for paying it back. And there's just so many people that think it's going to be a 2 or 3 year back to get back what they lost, and it's just not worth it to them. It's not worth to pay the rents, and so 30% are leaving us, and that hurts everybody. I mean, the industry itself, when it's strong, people want to go out and they want to go have fun and they want to have a great meal and feel safe. And when things start closing, it tightens it up, and it makes it hard on everybody. It makes it hard on the people closing, it makes it hard on the other restaurants. But I think we're going to come back. I'm confident after the first of the year that we're going to keep seeing a decline. I just read just a few seconds ago, 1.5% of our emergency rooms are COVID in nature now. So I really believe that we're turning the corner, even though there are a lot of people are getting it. I think that they're asymptomatic, and I think that we're going to get to the point to where it's going to start declining, and hopefully everything will open up, or we'll get the convention center back open. Downtown Westminster will start booming again. The house sales are still there. And so we know that people are still going to go out and eat, and we just hope for everybody's sake that the restaurant industry lifts up.
Absolutely. Well, and it lifts up in time for whenever they are ready to go out, that our restaurants are still there to support them and their needs. So Clay, you didn't touch on this, and this is one of the things that I attribute your success. There are so many factors in why you guys are doing well here in Westminster in general for your company. And I think, you and Clay do a phenomenal job in overseeing your company and in supporting your employees to make those decisions that they need to, but you're assessing things continually. And one of the things that you're doing is communicating to folks on a day-to-day basis. You do that through social media significantly. And if it's not done directly doing that, then it's other team members. What does that look like from a social media strategy? I mean, is this something that you both immersed yourself in? You're like learning that on a dime and turning around to use it to communicate? Are you partnering with someone to help you develop what you're posting out? How does that look for your individual business?
Well, I've immersed myself almost up to my little toe. Now, it is all Don Redlinger, and we do have a full-time marketing person, Kathleen Chappell, and they both do a great job. But Don's the one that's got his finger on it, knows what's going on. I'm completely oblivious. I think that I lost that gene somewhere when I had my last birthday. But our Facebook page has been real popular. Broomfield has been very supportive of us, the Broomfield Facebook page, as well as the Bradburn Facebook page, and they've just done a great job. And we've done some things. When things get tough, it's real easy to say, okay, we're going to cut our portions down, or we're going to start buying our ketchup instead of making it, because making it's more expensive than buying it actually. And we've done the opposite. We made sure that our quality's as good or better, our portions are as good or better. I mean, if you got to go somewhere, we want you to, you should go to the places that are really trying hard, and they're not trying to cut corners. They're trying to do the opposite. They're trying to build business for the future.
Absolutely. Well, and it speaks volumes when you're trying to do your best to still serve the best even during this time, because you can skimp out on those things, but it doesn't connect to you personally and your brand. And so it creates more of a negative when you're trying to, cut corners per se, or save on certain costs. In the long run, it won't help you and your business. So I think that's great that you're taking that approach. I see L. I also see Parker Brown. Good morning to you guys for hopping on here. We we have a question to us that comes to us from Brian Head. 2 questions. I'm pulling up the first one, and then I will kind of combine the second one with it as well. So that way we're not seeing both at the same time. But this question relates to dining room. So when you were closed fully at the very start and it was just the delivery or the pickup service, and then we moved into this next phase where you could open at a specific percentage capacity of your dining space, what did that look like, or what does it look like today as far as the in-person versus to-go type of delivery? And then before you answer that, the caveat to it is, how does that differ from pre-COVID? So split between in-person and delivery now, and what does that look like in comparison to before we had COVID unfold in front of us?
Well, before COVID, we were probably 8% to go. And the reason that number is so low is not many people were getting to go at lunches. I mean, we did some, but not too much. Now we are 25 to 30% to go. And it's a great question. Nobody's asked me that before, but I definitely checked it out, of course. But we're 25 or 30% to go, which is great. I mean, people are getting our food. You know, the only negatives I would throw in there is some burgers, not all, but some burgers don't travel well because you have a warm bun, hot meat, cold lettuce, and cold tomato. Some other burgers travel fine. The green chili burger is everything's warm and dark, or everything's warm and hot in it. But some don't travel great. And, I want to remind everybody that we still can do our to-go drinks, where my favorite is our Mucho Take It Easy, our jalapeno margarita. We're selling everything to go, including draft beer. And of course, we make our own ice cream. So you can get our Shake-Teenies, which are alcohol milkshakes. My favorite is the Dad S'mores with campfire marshmallow ice cream, Godiva chocolate vodka, Belgian chocolate, and graham crackers. And we serve it in a martini glass, not to go, but in the restaurant in a martini glass. And that's my favorite. I can't stop that one.
I tell you, I know people that have tried to taste every single type of Shake-Teeny that you have. Definitely not in one setting, but they've made it a point to go back continually to try out all those flavors. I see Linda Delana that's on here with us. Brian Dice, thank you both for hopping on. And thank you, Clay, for going in detail about that percentage, because it is completely different between 8% to a 25 to 30% increase. And kudos to you for being able to drive it that much. But again, it just reinforces that you are on top of it, because you shared in your answer, no one's asked that, but I have looked at it. And you have to be very intentional, especially right now, in assessing all these trends that are going on so you can make the best decisions for your business. You're not sitting back and trying to figure it out based on, other factors. You're looking at the raw data, you're looking at the numbers consistently, and then you're tag teaming it where you're the expert on this side, I believe. And then we've got Don, who really adds to that and then contributes on the social media. You shared your social media is very strategic. You're involved with those community groups that are out here in Westminster. Obviously, since you're so close to Broomfield, it makes sense that you're also engaging on the Broomfield community boards as well. But then you're also leveraging your own individual platforms to post out things continually, your menus, your new seasonal things that you're adding in, what your chefs are up to. And I think that consistency, that line of communication, it creates that normalcy and comfort for people to feel like you're someone that's right around their corner. You're their neighborhood burger bar. So we have Linda that's on here, and she just quickly hopped on and shared, love 5280. Linda was one of our sponsors for that after hours that we touched on earlier, the socially distant one, kind of financial, but we do too, Linda. And now, doing it at 11 o'clock may or may not have been a good idea, because now all I can think about for lunch is having one of your burgers, Clay.
Well, I'm actually in a chicken fillet mood right now. I think we have the best chicken fillets in the entire world. We use Redbird, never frozen, no hormones, no antibiotics chicken. And I just can't stop eating those either. So I'm not an all burger guy. I know I look like it, but I can go into
No, you look like someone who appreciates food. And as you explain food to us, everyone else is just as interested in trying them all out, truly.
I look like a marshmallow man. But I don't think that, and I want to be clear, I don't think that the being on camera adds 5 to 10 pounds. I actually got stung by 27 bees, and that's
Oh
why.
my goodness. Yeah, yeah. I think that's exactly what it was.
Yeah. That's what I had to do at my last high school reunion so people would recognize me.
Just walk around with their hands practically planted. That's hilarious. Brian Dice has shared 5280 is the Westminster favorite for burgers. Absolutely, and a great place for a lot of folks to hang out. So,
well, Brian's a good man. He's been a regular customer since the day we opened.
Yeah.
He's a good man and a good realtor. I'll say that for him.
Oh, well, thank you for that. Well, Clay, before I let you go, what does the future look like for you all? Will you continue with this the hybrid and more increased approach of allowing people to take out the delivery and then, slowly reopening other components of your restaurant? I mean, what do you envision would be the next best thing for you guys to keep on going?
Well, the backyard, the back area that they've allowed us to take, we're actually going to petition to keep that permanent. We think it's a great addition. It's got a great feeling. Our food truck's right there, so the food comes out super hot. I mean, just comes out there and you sit down and eat it. So we're going to petition to try to keep that. We're going to have to do a little bit of redecorating back there as far as a permanent trellis, but the parking lot's huge. It never fills up. And so that we're going to do that. We're also trying to get a cover put on our existing patio, the one out to the side, so we can heat it and people can sit there even when it's windy or snowy or the sun's really bright. And so we're going to keep trying to expand Westminster. It's a fantastic neighborhood. When people are moving to Denver area, I tell them there's only one place to live. It's Westminster. I believe that it's, 12, 15 minutes to Boulder. It's 22 minutes to downtown Denver, an hour to Fort Collins. And I mean, there's just not a better place to live, and the great people.
Well, thank you for that plug in too. I think I need to start carting you around as I'm promoting our community more, but it's people like you, it's our businesses that are investing and really seeing the benefit of being in our community and our city and attracting those employees that make us a better place to live, work, and play. So I appreciate you emphasizing that, Clay. And of course, we're nearly to our 30-minute mark, believe it or not. So if you don't have anything else that you wanted us to tap into, I'll just reinforce, Clay and Dawn do a terrific job over at 5280 Burger Bar, located over in the Bradburn area of Westminster. They are offering in-person dining and also to-go delivery or pickup. Contactless options are there. A lot of their menu choices are posted on their social media pages. They're posted on their website continually. They're coming up with specials. They have an expanded outdoor patio and numerous other things that they've done during this time. I've included a lot of those in the comment section of this video feed. You can also find out more information about what they've been doing in terms of health and safety or sanitation, from 30-second cleanups to disinfectant of their tables and windows and so much more. Give that peace of mind to consumers whenever they're looking to dine out or trying to support their local businesses, especially during this time. I think it's important to reemphasize what Clay had said earlier on. It's important that we're supporting our businesses that we like, and even the ones that are around the corner that had popped up within the last several months, because when it is time for us to go back to some sort of a normal, we still want them to be there. And to ensure that, we have to keep them surviving throughout the year. I see Parker Brown is sharing, and Parker's from Carrabba, so there's that love of being a restaurant to a restaurant. He's sharing that they love to go eat at 5280, and you guys are doing terrific. And oh my gosh, I do have to pull this up on the screen before I fully close. So right now the question is being asked is if it's too late for a Dawn and Clay 2020 presidential ticket. The strategy would be an ingenious one, to say the least. So let's pick back up on this conversation offline and see what it could go into for sure. But I sure appreciate everyone that's tuned into the broadcast. We'll be back here again tomorrow. Tomorrow is our Thursday nonprofit corner, where we feature Five Star Education Foundation, the school foundation. And then we'll also be featuring on Friday George Stern from the Jeffco Clerk and Recorder's Office, to talk with us a little bit about the Jeffco elections history, data, and how you can be more informed as you consider your votes and casting your votes here in November. I appreciate everybody that's tuned in. But before I let you go, I ask a favor, and that's if you had a question or comment you didn't get a chance to ask us, type it in, DM it to our page. If you watch this video later on replay, give us that hashtag replay so we know that you enjoyed it just as much as we did providing it to you. But then more importantly, share this in your network to friends, to family, and let them know about our amazing business that's here in our community, what they're doing during this time, how they're trying to provide peace of mind to their customers and supporting their employees along the way as well. So kudos to you, Clay, to Don, to the team for retaining your workforce, for not letting anyone go, for adapting during this time and really thinking outside of the box, but also for being as informed as possible as a small business owner so that you can be making the decisions that you need to ahead of the curve rather than waiting as far as when it hits you in the long run. So appreciate you, and I appreciate you coming back on here with me.
Thanks so much, Julie.